All right, everybody. Welcome back. Welcome back to another Art with Arrow podcast. Here is our Monday check in. Let's go. All right, everybody. Man, it's been another week, and I gotta say, man, the more I think about how time flies and, things just keep happening and like today, I usually do my podcast around 2 p.m. And, I just wasn't really motivated to get things done. But, what's what we're going to talk about today. So, I'm your host, Errol, and, we are going to discuss, our motivation. Where does it lie? Where does it lay? Where does it come from? What is our motivation? You know, I'm Navy veteran, served 20 years. I always forget to do the little intro part where we tell people who I am. Got a degree in graphics design, so I am a graphics designer. Uh, I'm an artist and a gamer. I do my little podcast. I'll do artwork, and we'll do gaming occasionally. That's me, Art with Arrow. All right, so now we got that out the way. Let's talk about motivation. On this podcast, we basically been talking about, growing our social media platform and trying to, progress in this, and I think motivation is a big driver in, whether or not you can be successful or not. How much motivation you have, towards what you're working on, and stuff. So, what are some external motivations? Obviously, money is always a big driver for a lot of people. Yeah, who wouldn't? Who wouldn't want to be able to earn money from home, and stream and make videos and stuff like that, right? Who wouldn't want to be able to do that? So that is a big motivator for a lot of folks, but it is short term. It is short term because a lot of people lose interest when they see that it's a long game. There's a long game into actually achieving that. When most people talk about, their success, it usually came after 10 or 15 years or something. It took them a long time to find their audience. So yeah, money is a motivator, but that shouldn't be your sole motivation. Recognition can also be a motivator, right? Everybody want to be recognized, want to be remembered, for something, you know, uh, career advancement, that could play an career advancements could play a motivator, social media numbers, validation, these are all external motivators, but they're all really temporary, right? They're temporary motivators. At least that's what I think. Um, some internal stuff. What's some internal motivations? I think purpose. Personal growth, family, faith. A legacy. The satisfaction of accomplishing goals. That's that's all internal motivators, and motivation, it can fade, man. Like today, I didn't feel like doing it, but this is a time that I always say, when you don't feel like doing something, that's usually the time you have to push yourself to actually do it, even though you don't feel like it. Because if I don't do the podcast, right, it's a missed day, it's a missed stream, it's a missed opportunity to engage with somebody, it's a missed opportunity to be found by someone. There's a lot of negatives come with just not doing. There's just a lot of negatives that come with just not doing. I don't know what that sound is over there. I kind of lost my train of thought. I got distracted, y'all. I'm sorry. Yeah, there's just a lot of negativity around just not doing. So Motivation can come and go, and my thought process is you always have to develop the discipline and the habits to keep doing what you're doing, right? You know, and trying to find the motivation to continue it. You know what I mean? It's all big stuff. You know, it's so easy to put it down, right? And not do it. It's so easy to give up. You know, you know. Continuing the journey, is a struggle for everybody. Even when you don't feel like it, like I said, even when you don't feel like it, that's when it matters most. You know, that's when it matters most. And it can be applied to pretty much anything if you think about it. Weight loss. Just trying to get that next advancement at your job. If you're not really working towards it and you give up on it, you'll never achieve it. You'll just never achieve it. So putting it down can have more negative effects than positive. Continuing, even if you're making a lot of mistakes, like myself, I make a ton of mistakes, dude. Like, I know I make a lot of mistakes. I try hard, and I try to stay on track, and I try to keep going. But even though I make a lot of mistakes, you just have to keep doing something until you learn from it. That's the thing. Do we always catch on right away? No, not everybody always catches on right away. So, you may have to do something 1,000 times, 100 times, who knows, to figure it out. That 10,000 hours thing is a real thing. To get good at it. To get good at something, you got to put in the time. You got to be willing to put in the time too. That's the thing. So it's all about motivation, right? It all falls back to our motivation. All falls back to our motivation. If money is your sole motivator and like being a social media person, you're gonna fail. You're gonna fail. That can't be the only motivation. You got to enjoy it. You got to be willing to sacrifice time for it. You gotta do like what I'm doing today, even though I didn't want to do it. I just, I still fired this computer up. I still set up the green screen. I still got the mic out. I still thought about what I wanted to talk about. I kind of like laid something out, even though it's not the best. I got like a little mini script to kind of go off of what I wanted to talk about, just little bullet points. That's all it is. But I mean, it's something, right? It's something. And I'm doing it, and I'm doing it. So, like I said, man, it's challenging. Staying motivated can be a real challenge, and no matter what you're doing. Like if you're trying to like do weightlifting and build muscle, or if you're trying to just get overall healthy, that's stuff that you can fail at if you don't stay motivated in that area as well. Same as like doing the social media stuff. If you're not actively trying to figure out things and post things and create things, come up with little scripts or whatever, and make content or whatever, if you're not trying, you'll fail. You will fail. So some reflection. I always like to do a little reflection. I think reflection is important for everybody. Is to look back on what you've been doing. And that's why I like with this podcast, I like to like always look back at the last week and say, this is what we got done. I could have done better. And thinking about last week, I wanted to get 2 art days in, only got 1. So there was a failure there, and that was just because of appointments and other stuff that pops up. And, that can happen from time to time, but, so I accept that, You accept that, hey, we just missed that one because X, Y, and Z. That was a little bit out of my hands on that one. But it is still like a missed opportunity, right? To be caught or seen or found by someone because we couldn't make that schedule work. That's why I think if you can stick to your schedule, it's very important to stick to your schedule. Having a schedule and sticking to it is very important. So what else we did last week? So we got one sketch day in. We did get to play a new game. We tried out Fate Keeper, which I kind of like it. I think it's kind of cool. It's a little challenging figuring out like the timing of like blocking and stuff, or it might have been just a glitch because the game is so new that like after you get hit in the game, you can't like block. Like I couldn't block. I was like pressing the block button and the character wouldn't go into the block, and it was like they would just started lighting you up as soon as one person hit you. It's like I was getting hit repeatedly back to back, and it was like, man, and you had to like kind of run away to be able to block again or something. I don't know. It was a little weird in that sense, but whatever. It could just be how they designed the game. I don't know. But we did get to try out a new game, and I kind of like Fate Keeper, so I want to dive more into it. But I got so many games that I haven't completed. And I need to try to complete some games, man. Miles P.I. for Hire, I'm close. I need to get in there. I would like to get in there this week, man, and try to at least complete it, man. I want to have a completed game under my belt. I have that. I have Crimson Desert. I have First Light. A lot of games I haven't completed. I am playing Forza a little bit here and there, when I can. There's a lot of games I'm just behind on. But, I digress on that. That's, just me not only being able to play when I can. It's very limited time. So, at least we're getting the podcast done, y'all. I like to do my bit of gaming news. I feel like I'm, kind of getting into a good groove with a bit of gaming news. I am trying to mix it up a little bit by having like the short slightly different than the regular form video factor or whatever. So I am trying to switch things up a little bit. That's a little complicated because I only have so much time to edit in the morning. So I got to shoot it, edit, and then throw it up and then go to work. So it's not enough time, so I gotta be able to like figure that out. It's like a lot of things. Time is limited with me, but I'm making the best of what I have, best of the time I have. So motivation. Let's go back to our topic a little bit. We talked a little bit about last week. I did stay motivated pretty much throughout the week because I wanted to make content. Just, with appointments and other stuff, just didn't have the opportunity to actually make some content, and that's going to happen. That's just life, right? Family stuff comes first. So, when appointments pop up or if a car breaks down and you gotta take it to the shop or something like that, you gotta step out and take care of that business first, because life must function, right? Everybody must be able to function in that capacity. You can't do that, but I think staying motivated. This is a big topic, I think, because it's so easy to just give up. It's easy to give up. It's easy to quit something. It's hard to stick with something until you make it. Till you find your path. Find your path. I think that everybody has a path, and if you work at something, long enough, you'll figure it out. Some people find things faster than others. You know, they find their niche, they find their way to be successful at something, quicker than other people. And I'm just one of them folks that's just a little slow, I guess. I'm on the slow side. I'm on the short bus side, I guess. It's okay, man. It's all right. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. At the end of the day, I'm gonna keep pushing. That's how I feel, because I don't see myself giving up. I'm gonna keep trying, keep pushing, and eventually, I'll find my audience. I'll find my path to success in this social media stuff. I think it's possible. I just gotta stick with what I've been doing and just try to get a little bit better each time. And I think that's the keys to success: is don't give up, stay motivated, enjoy what you do, which I do. I love drawing, I love painting, I love playing video games. So that's why I got Art with Arrow, is just art and gaming type stuff, because that's what I enjoy. So why not do what you enjoy and try to find a way to make it successful? I think that's the thing for me. If you got something you enjoy, you gotta work at it, stay motivated in it, and keep working and stick to your schedule. And success will come. That's what I believe. I think it will. I think it will. Only time will tell, right? Only time will tell. But as far as Twitch, I always struggle. Like I say, always struggle to grow on Twitch. I don't know what it is about Twitch. I always hear people say a lot of people are using bots. I don't know if that's true or not. I just know I'm not doing that. So if I got one or two people watching, hey, that's real people. It has to be because I'm not watching it. So I'm not watching myself right now. So if somebody's watching, then it is what it is. But that's kind of weird that that's how people have to be successful, is like paid for something like that. I always find that interesting that people go to that length. I'm not paying for nothing like that. That's just ridiculous in my eyes. If people want to watch, they'll watch. If not, hey, it's all good. Yeah. Anyway, we were supposed to be talking about motivation. We kind of, I kind of veer off a lot. So if you're listening to my ramblings today, just know I veer a little bit. We'll bring it back. We'll curve it back around to the road. We'll curve it back around to the road. Motivation. Motivation. Because I'm motivated to get back on the road. Yeah, man. So where are we at on this? We're only 20 minutes in. I would rather get 20 minutes of this than to have gotten nothing today. So I'm glad I got on, even though I was, kind of struggling today. But we're on here. I think it's a good topic. I think motivation is something everybody needs to work at. Work on your motivation and figure out what your motivation is. So if you are listening and you're working on like your social media or whatever in life, what is your motivation for it? What is it? Is it just one sole driving factor? Because I think you need more than that. And you gotta enjoy it, whatever it is you're working on. Because if you don't enjoy it, you're not gonna progress in it. That's what I think. If you're not enjoying what you're doing, you're not gonna progress at it. You gotta enjoy what you're doing. Otherwise, it's something that's just gonna bring you down in the end. For those that are listening, I had to take a sip of my drink because my throat is a little dry. So yeah, identify your motivating factors, y'all. That's a big thing, man. It's a big thing. Try to stay motivated as well. Even in the times that you don't want to do something, you may have to just force yourself to do it. You may have to force yourself to do it because, like I said earlier, man, you miss a day doing something, you could miss an opportunity to gain somebody. So sticking to your schedule is a big deal. It really is. Sticking to your schedule is a big deal. Taking time off is great, and there's nothing wrong if you have to take time off. But just know, every opportunity you have to shine on your platforms and stuff is a day and an opportunity to gain a follower, to gain somebody in your circle or your if you have like a group, like we like to call my group, the Artistry Society. So if you like and follow and subscribe, you're a partner, you're a member. That's it. That's how I consider you a part of our group. You like, you follow, you participate, you comment, whatever. That's Anyway, moving on. Yeah, sharing comments. Comment, y'all. Tell me what are your motivating factors. What motivates you for what it is you're working on. I'd like to hear it. I think it's something that everybody should reflect on, should think about. Yeah. I think that's about all I got today. So it's going to be a short one, y'all. It's going to be a short one today. It's going to be a short one, man. But the fact that I got on here and we recorded something for people to think about, motivation. Think about your motivation. As I will do the same. I could tell you right now, we can kind of go through them since I ain't really doing that. Money is a motivating factor. Of course, everybody wants to be a successful YouTuber, Twitch streamer, whatever. If you're on Kick or whatever, that kind of, successful at it. Everybody wants to be successful and earn money from home. That's like a luxury. That's an amazing thing if you can do that, right? So, of course, a lot of people should have that as a motivator, but I think also a motivation for me is to be helpful as well. That's why I think the podcast is something I really enjoy doing, because I want to be able to show people what I'm thinking and, what I'm trying to, gain following and all that, my process, I guess, sharing that and seeing what other people think about, think about that and, what their processes are and, their motivating factors, like stuff like that, so to me, if it's helpful, then I feel like I left something, that's worth something, and if you watch my art videos, I feel like that, if you learned something in the way that I'm doing the art that you maybe not doing, if you're an artist, maybe it helps you. Then I feel like I left you something valuable. So as far as gaming, that's just, interaction time. If I'm gaming, I really just doing that for interaction. If I'm streaming and gaming, it's just for interaction, just chit chat or hang out, right? So hopefully that time is valuable as well, you know. So those are my motivating factors right there. It's like a good 2 or 3 right there, right? Because this could be a career, you know. So if you can become a successful streamer or a content creator, right, it could be a second career. I mean, that would be cool too, right? So several motivating factors for me. You know, me being retired from the Navy, I mean, if I can earn money from home, I would prefer that over than working a little job that I'm working, you know. But, you know, that's the same with anybody, right? That's the same with anybody, I believe. At least I think. But, yep. So that's our topic for today, y'all. Hope you enjoyed it. Do leave me comments on whatever platform you're listening. And remember, I do have this Spotify. I have this on Spotify as well as YouTube. You know, I push YouTube because that's been the platform that I've been able to grow the most on. Even though it's like, you know, slow growth for what maybe someone that you've seen. If you're just tuning in, you know, there's a lot of streamers out there that have way more following than I do. But, you know, YouTube is, for me, where I'm growing the most, you know. So I tend to push that more because not many people follow me on Twitch, even though I stream on Twitch or whatever. So I don't really understand how to grow on Twitch. You know, I just don't. I mean, my thought process behind it is that I don't stream long enough, because this is like a 30-minute stream, right, or a 40-minute stream, something like that, for this podcast, right? And when I game stream, it's only like for maybe 2 hours most times, right? It's max 2 hours. Sometimes it's shorter, right? And then, you know, when I do artwork, it's usually for 45 minutes or an hour. So like, you know, my streams are so short, maybe it's just not long enough for people to find me on Twitch. But when I upload the videos and stuff, the content to YouTube, people find it there. So maybe it's just a time thing where, like, if I gain a lot of following on YouTube, folks will then eventually follow us on Twitch, you know, and then tune in for the live streams. Because I want to get to where I'm just streaming on one platform. I know the multi-platform streaming stuff is like, you know, what everybody's doing, but I would prefer to not have to monitor like 2 different types of chat, you know, all that. I would rather just stream to one platform and then just post the videos to YouTube through the old school method. I know that's like archaic at this time because everybody is, you know, on the new model, which I've always been slow to change. I would just rather have one chat at the end of the day, right? Because it's just overwhelming to have like all these different platforms to go to, right? You know, it's a lot, you know, to have to upload to every platform. Then you got to check the comments on every platform. It's just too much. It's too overwhelming, man. So if I could have it all on one platform, that would be honestly better in my eyes. It would be better, you know. I just don't want to do all that. So, yeah, just my thought process behind that stuff, though. I hope you guys enjoyed this podcast. I just ramble a lot on this podcast. Ramble a lot. You know, I'll come up with a topic and ramble on it a little bit. Veer off the road a little bit. Swerve back in there, you know. Bob and weave in and out or whatever you want. So, anyway, I did enjoy... before I get off, I did enjoy the gaming showcases. There was games that I definitely want to play. There's a lot of games coming out. It's just my backlog keeps getting bigger and bigger. I keep falling further and further behind. So I need to try to play some catch up at some point on the games, cause there's a bunch of nice games that's gonna be coming up, man. And a new hardware coming out. You know, it's crazy. I'm gonna stick with my PC, of course, but the hardware that's always been an interest of mine has been the Steam machine. You know. But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and shut this down. Don't forget to leave me a comment about your motivators. What are your motivators to do whatever it is you were working on? And don't forget to like and subscribe on YouTube. Follow us on Twitch. Follow us on Spotify or wherever you're listening to the podcast. And I'll see you on, I think it's Wednesday. I think Wednesday I'm good for art. We're going to be doing art on Wednesday this week and Thursday, and then Friday we'll get a game stream in. I may be able to do a surprise stream. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, y'all, have a good night.